5. Terrifying true Reddit horror stories. Reddit is full of strange stories, ordinary people sharing experiences they can't explain, moments that haunt them long after the screen goes dark. Tonight, we're diving into 5 true horror stories from Reddit, each one unsettling, each one leaving a chill that lingers long after the tale ends. These are not urban legends, they are real people, real fear, and the kind of unease that makes you question what's really around you when no one is watching. Story 1. The Neighbor Who Watched Too Much. One Reddit user shared a story about moving into what seemed like a normal suburban neighborhood. Everything was quiet, almost too quiet. At first, he noticed small things, lights turning on late at night, curtains twitching, the faint sound of footsteps outside his window. It wasn't long before he realized his neighbor was always watching, just staring. Not casually, but with intense focus, always peering from his darkened living room, eyes fixed on his every move. Then came the notes. Tiny slips of paper left on the doorstep, messages he didn't write, but ones that described what he had done that day, what he ate, when he showered, even who he talked to. One night, he returned from work to find the curtains of his own house drawn back from the inside. That was when he realized it wasn't just the neighbor watching, it was something he could no longer see, something moving between the rooms when he wasn't there. By morning, the neighbor had moved away. No one knew where he went, but the Reddit user swore he could still feel the weight of those unseen eyes, waiting. Story 2. The Face Outside. A college student posted about returning home late from the library. She lived alone on the top floor of an old apartment building. As she unlocked her door, she glimpsed a face in the reflection of her window. A man, or something resembling one, watching from the alley below. She froze. But when she looked directly outside, no one was there. This happened every night for a week. No footprints, no shadows. But each night, that face was closer. Sometimes right below her window, sometimes just outside the door. Then came the whispering, soft, almost inaudible at first, repeating her name. Not through the phone, not in her apartment, but right behind the door. The police were called. They found no evidence of anyone outside. Cameras, security, nothing. The student moved the next day, but on her last night, she left a mirror by the window. The reflection didn't show her own face. It showed someone standing behind her, smiling. Story 3. The Wrong Phone Call. A man shared an experience he had while living alone in a small apartment. Late one night, his phone rang. Caller ID. Unknown. A woman's voice whispered, "I can see you." He laughed it off. Probably a prank, he thought, but the calls kept coming. Every night, the same voice, same words, and always a pause, long enough for him to notice the faint sound of someone moving behind him. One night, the call came while he was on a video chat with a friend. The friend asked, "Is someone there with you?" He turned to the camera, expecting nothing, and there she was, just standing in the background, pale, expressionless, staring. The line went dead. The next day, he moved. The call stopped, until he saw her again in a grocery store mirror, smiling like she had been there all along. Story 4. The Voice in the Walls. A Reddit user moved into a new apartment and began hearing soft whispers through the walls. At first, he thought it was neighbors, but soon the whispers started responding. "Are you awake? Why are you here?" No one lived in the apartment next door. The maintenance team checked. Empty. Over the weeks, the voices got closer, behind his bed, in the kitchen, under the floorboards. One night, he woke to find words written on the wall in condensation. "I can see you sleep." He left that apartment the next day. Every time he told the story online, he added that sometimes, when he's alone in a hotel or a friend's house, he hears the same whispering, just faint enough to remind him that the walls never really stop watching. Story 5. The Vanishing Guest. One Reddit user invited a new friend over after meeting online. Conversation was easy, laughter filled the room, until he went to the kitchen. When he returned, the chair was empty. He assumed the friend had gone to the bathroom. Hours passed, and there was no reply to his text. He searched the apartment. Doors locked, windows shut, no one was there. He checked the building's security cameras. Nothing. Weeks later, he received a message from the same friend. It said only, "I had to leave, but I'm still here." Sometimes, late at night, he swears he hears footsteps on the stairs, and every once in a while, he catches a glimpse of a shadow in the corner of his apartment, watching. These are just 5 stories among thousands shared online. Ordinary people, ordinary lives, interrupted by the unknown. When you go to sleep tonight, remember, the world is full of things watching, whispering, and waiting, just beyond your sight. Sometimes, the most terrifying horrors aren't monsters. They're the ones who linger where you think you're alone.